funny, when I'm buying cameras or finding cameras, sometimes I look specifically for certain models, and at other times I just don't. And recently I haven't been looking out for any particular camera. I have mainly looked for cameras that I haven't done videos on before, and it just so happens that the majority of the ones I found this summer have been Nikon and Ensigns. Ensigns were a camera made under the Hamringer and Butcher mark, and this is typical of one from the 1950s, and it is a Selfix 12-20, right? And it's a really nice quality camera. As I've explained on other videos, the Selfix were a brand of Ensign cameras that had a viewfinder. The auto ranges would have a coupled range finder, and there was also a special as well. There was different models, but this, the Selfix 1220, I think it's a lovely design. We've got a really nice bright viewfinder here. This camera has a film in, so I can't take the back off and demonstrate, but one side is for flicking one of these switches, the other is for opening the front here. Okay, so we have on here a Ross Star lens, which I think is a very nice lens. We have 300th of a second down to 1 second. We have a Epson shutter, which isn't my favourite shutter. The German shutters I think are definitely better, but never mind. We've got a very clear aperture here from 4.5, which is moderately fast for a medium format camera of this era, down to f22, and that is basically it. It fits in the hand very well. It's quite a sturdy camera. It's made from this alloy here, folding front there, nice leather case. One issue with this design was there was nothing for a hot shoe, so you can't put a rangefinder on or even a flash, which is a little bit of a pain. As I said, that's nice as well. That leave it over just the viewfinder. The viewfinder is very clear, nice and bright, and this one is particularly bright. Sometimes the frame has actually gone, but not on this particular model. So that is basically it. Let's see how the camera performed when I put a film in it. This is a barn near Corfe Castle, and I was particularly pleased how it came out. It's nice and sharp, it's clear. For a change, I'm using a very ancient Jessop's 200 film that I found I had in a bag, and it seems to be working absolutely fine. The camera is sharp, it's clear. Unfortunately, there's some deer in this shot, but they were in the distance and I didn't quite get them. This is Corfe Castle, evening light. Again, this camera is doing everything you hoped it would do. And the interesting thing about this film, I did put it in Photoshop, but I've hardly done any adjustments to it at all. I haven't done any tone adjustments. There was hardly any dust to clear up. I think there might be a little bit I've wondered if there was a tiny bit of light leak coming out, but I think it's more likely to be maybe I had a slight fitching issue up. You can see at the top of the image, but it could be just that this film was about, I think it was dated 1992, so I am using a very out-of-date film. But for the purpose of the camera, really pleased with how it came out. I got almost 12 out of 12 photos which are usable. The exposure was fine. You see, that is a slight issue. I've got that line coming down there in the middle. I've got that on a couple of photos. It could be a pinhole, but you don't normally in a bellows camera, if you are having problems with pinholes in bellows, you don't normally get such clear lines. I did wonder if it's maybe light getting in somewhere else, but as I said, it might be getting in as it's an old film. But the camera did well, the lens is sharp. I really like these old Selfixes. If you find them for a reasonable price, some of them can be rather expensive, but as you see, it's very usable, good camera, nicely designed with some style. I mean, I do like folders, as I've said before. This was developed in ID11, and as I said, it was an old Jessup's R200 film, but I basically developed it as a 100A SA film, and I exposed it. I've actually exposed it at 100A SA, if that all makes sense. Nice camera to use. I mainly used it in Devon with these lovely scenes of Exmouth. Well, it was a lovely evening when I was there and took me back to when I was a student there a long time ago. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.